In part 3 of Module 4, we're going to continue conversation on the ESG. The EBSA ESG probes, it's an emerging trend. In late February to early March, we saw a significant shift in regulatory scrutiny around ESG investments. A financial professional reached out to our ERISA group after receiving an inquiry from the Employee Benefits Security Administration. The nature of the inquiry was that 9 out of 12 of the EBSA's requests directly referenced ESG investments. This is important to note because the client's plan had absolutely zero ESG funds, either at present nor historically. Despite this, the inquiry letter from the EBSA was explicit. It stated, the department seeks to better understand the plan's fiduciary selection of ESG funds for the inclusion in the plan's investment options in compliance with their duty to administer the plan prudently and solely for the purpose of providing benefits to participants and beneficiaries and defraying reasonable expenses of administering the plan. So implications for plan fiduciaries. The critical takeaway from this development is that the EBSA's inquiries aren't limited to plans currently using SGF funds. The department seeks to be signaling heightened interest in how fiduciaries select investments, including their rationale for considering or not considering ESG factors, and whether they are meeting their fiduciary obligations to act prudently. This underscores the importance of maintaining clear documentation of the investment selection process, whether ESG factors are involved or not. General ESG considerations. As fiduciaries, it's important to understand that ESG investing presents both opportunities and challenges. Different investment houses approach ESG from unique perspectives. For example, some may choose to remove entire industries such as firearms, tobacco, or fertilizer from their portfolios. Others may exclude companies based on their specific sales activity, like Walmart, which some avoid due to firearm sales. One of the key difficulties with ESG is defining which issues matter. What counts as an important ESG issue can vary not only across investment houses, but also among plan participants. Here's a real-world example. A client wanted to include ESG fund that specifically excluded firearms, but a member of the investment committee wanted to add a gun fund that invested in firearms manufacturing. This highlights the complexity and the diversity of opinions when deciding on ESG criteria. ESG and asset classes. It's also important to remember that ESG isn't limited to one type of investment. ESG compliant funds can fall into various asset classes, whether it be U.S. equity, international equity, fixed income, balanced funds, etc. Each asset class will have its own set of conditions of how ESG factors are integrated. 4 key challenges for fiduciaries include the following. 1, how to define ESG. What does ESG mean for your organization? Does it mean excluding certain industries or focusing on companies with high governance scores? 2, identifying ESG as positive pecuniary factors. Can you identify specific ESG elements that have a clear, measurable impact on financial performance? 3, reasonable alternative comparison. Can you justify including an ESG fund when compared to a non-ESG alternatives that may offer better financial performance? 4, weighting ESG factors versus performance. How much weight do you give to ESG factors compared to more commonly accepted performance-based criteria? So the big question for fiduciaries you need to ask yourself is, do you want to be at the front of the ESG movement or wait until the inclusion of ESG factors is well settled in the investment community? Ultimately, the decision boils down to what a prudent expert would do. Balancing ESG considerations with the duty of loyalty and prudence is key. Should you act now or wait for a consensus in the marketplace?